So, okay, so Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, guys. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. My name is Diakat Zaman. And this is Roots of Knowledge, my YouTube channel. And as you guys know, on Fridays, we have a little bit of chit chat. We talk, discuss what's been happening in the week. And I try to answer some of your questions. So let's see. Ghazi Iqbal, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahla wa sahla. I'm doing very well. MashaAllah. How are you doing? Fahmida Begum, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. Welcome. Marhaban. Ghazi Mufti, so how to stay motivated for studies and how to get rid of procrastination. There is no cure for procrastination except what you have to do is you have to trick yourself. That's what I have found to be the best solution out there. You basically trick yourself into doing something. Yeah. So what you got to do is you got to kind of like make yourself think that you're not going to do the action, but you do it. So for instance, let's say you have to read a book. So what you do is you say to yourself, I am only going to read the book for 2 minutes. That's all. Just 2 minutes. And after that, I'm going to put it down. So what you do is you open the book, read it for 2 minutes, and then after 2 minutes, you generally decide that you want to carry on reading more. So that's basically the method of how this is done. And you know, it's something which you can practice yourself. You can try it yourself. That's one method. Second method is what you do is procrastination is that you kind of tell yourself, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. So when you procrastinate something, what happens is you get more stressed because when so many things build up, right, you feel as though there are too many to do. So you're overwhelmed. So what you have to do is you have to, in your day, you plan in your day, like certain times where you're going to do something important and you plan it before or after the action. So for example, like let's say you're going to go for Dhuhr Salat at, I don't know, 2 o'clock. So you say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this book, or I'm going to study this, I'm going to do this half an hour before the Dhuhr, and just dedicate that time for that specific thing. That way you become more focused on your actions, right? And I generally think a lot of people, the reason they procrastinate is because there's too much distractions around. Too many. Phone is the biggest distraction, right? Well, what happens to me sometimes is that, you know, sometimes you just look, someone will send you something or you look at something on social media and then all of a sudden you end up like wasting 15-20 minutes just on watching some silly videos, yeah, that have no point in there at all. So I think that's the kind of trick I would say. Right. So yes, welcome guys. Ahlan wa sahlan, marhaban. Now I've been using these headphones. I showed you guys these headphones last week, didn't I? I've been using these headphones, and mashallah, I've found them to be very, very beneficial. These are extremely useful headphones. Yeah. And basically they are what is known as bone conductor earphones. Yeah. So bone conductor earphones is basically they put the sound through your bones. Right? Instead of putting the sound through your ears, the sound goes through your bones. And so you put it on, and then like put it on there. See, it goes there because I got my imam on. This is the only problem with these kind is that if you have some headgear on, it's a bit difficult to try and, but eventually you get it. Yeah, it goes there, and then the sound actually goes into your bone, and it's fairly good. I mean, the sound is very good. Only thing is that obviously, you know, it's not going to give you the same quality sound that you're going to get from earphones because that directly goes into your ear, but it's very good. Like I'm shocked at how good it is. So these are good. Yeah. Problem I would say with these after testing them for about two weeks or so is when you're sitting down and you have them on and you're putting your head against like some sort of surface, because these kind of like pop out slightly, it does kind of like cause a bit of awkwardness. So you just have to adjust it. That's the kind of I think that's probably one of the things that and obviously if you're using these and there's a lot of sound around you, you won't be able to hear. So for example, if I went cycling and there's a lot of traffic and so the sound, I won't be able to hear the sound very well. Yeah, otherwise with headphones I could at least hear something. That's the kind of thing I would say generally. Ghazi Iqbal, is Quran Khani bid'ah? So what exactly happens in Quran Khani? Abdullah Ashraf, ahlan wa sahlan. Abdullah, how are you, my brother? How's things with you? Quick question: is it permissible to wear a Manchester United shirt as it has a devil? Yes, it's permissible to wear. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing to wear because of Man United, Man United's reputation, but yeah, you can wear it because the logo is too small. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Umran Ali, ahlan wa sahlan. The hadith says to make ghusl and walk to the mosque and sit close to the imam on Jum'ah. What is considered sitting close to the imam? So sitting close to the imam would be, the first row or as close as possible. Meaning the hadith is encouraging people to like sit in rows and not to just sit scattered. So if you're sitting close as you can, the people that come after you will have a better chance of finding space as well. Yeah. I have received admission into Madrasa. The rules have begun. Alhamdulillah, Mishkat, Quduri, intro to Jalalain and Kafiya. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, Ahlan wa Sahlan, MashaAllah, Imran. Well done, well done. Well done. What are the timings of the classes? What are the timings? I'm well, Alhamdulillah, be well. Alhamdulillah, I'm very good, Abdullah. Adil, is Sahih al-Bukhari all authentic? Inshallah, Inshallah. Crypto M, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Masir Ali, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you? I am very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for asking, my American brother. New Jersey. How's things in New Jersey? I've got some Turkish tea today, some new Turkish tea. So my sister went to Turkey and they brought back some tea. And this is the first sip I'm having. It's okay. It's quite good. Nice. Nice taste. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. break time from 1 p.m. to okay. Yeah, sounds good. Good timing. So how is there mutala time in the evening? Or do you go home? Assalamu alaikum. Long time, Sheikh Zaidan. Ahla wa sahla. Welcome. Long time, my brother. AR, is crypto trading haram? What I would suggest, AR, is it's a very complicated topic. It's not black and white, one answer. It's different types of cryptocurrencies and different types. So go to IFG, type in Google IFG, cryptocurrency in Islam, and they have a big article that explains all the different types of cryptocurrency. Do you have to read 4 rakats before Jummah namaz and then 4 rakats and then 2 rakats after Jummah? According to Hanafis, this is the recommended way, yes. 4 rakats before, then 2 rakats, then 4 rakats, then 2 rakats. It's fine, but the pollen is horrible. You ever try Turkish coffee? Pollen. Oh, you've got pollen season. So you got a hay fever. Am I right? You ever tried Turkish coffee? Yes, I like Turkish coffee. Turkish coffee is nice. It's quite thick. At the end, it's got that kind of thick, but it's nice. Yeah, I like it. Right. So today, someone said to me, "You look like you lost weight." So I've actually been doing extra exercises. So at the moment, cycling obviously on the weekends. And then I'm thinking about even possibly starting cycling some of the days going to work on the bike. So I'm thinking about that. My workplace is about 4 miles or so away from my house. So that's good. So that's 4 miles there, 4 miles back, which is going to work out to be about 8 miles altogether. So that's a good thing. And I've started jogging after Isha. So after Isha, in my area, I jog around the streets. So that's also something good. Yeah, because it's quite, jogging is something, I haven't done it for a long time. But consistently jogging is a very good way of losing weight because your heart rate, basically when you do exercise, you have to raise your heart rate to a certain level for your body to start using up the fat. So jogging is a very good thing for that. And at nighttime is calm, it's quiet. Only thing is sometimes it rains, so I'm thinking I might have to get like one of those waterproof hoodies. I have to get a thin one of those. And I just do like about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I'll be putting it up on my WhatsApp. So it's kind of like good. I think it's good for myself. And then at nighttime, you sleep very well as well. So if you do a lot of exercise before you go to sleep, your night is very nice. And you go to sleep, you feel relaxed, your body is exhausted, and you have a good sleep. So that's something which is what I've been doing, and hopefully, inshallah, I'll keep you guys in the loop with that. And then I've also on some days I do jogging at night time, and then on some days I do um, I do weights. So just do a little bit of light weights. Uh, yeah, and that's it. So this is why I think my body's looking a bit more toned up now. Yeah. Right. So let's check some of these questions out there. We go home, take a lot of time. It's mandatory for those who live on campus, but yeah, I need to get my 8 hours of sleep and probably get my dry eyes checked out. Oh, you got dry eyes. Hopefully, it results from the eye drops. Oh, Allah give you shifa. Allergies, mate. Ah, you got allergies, bro. Yo, Allah give you shifa as well. You know what I heard? Rub nettles on your skin in March and April. I don't know if you guys have like the nettles that we have. Wa alaikum assalam, Mu'adh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Any tips on how to maintain increased energy levels? Yeah, energy levels. Basically, what you have to do is don't eat junk food. Do not eat junk food. Yeah. If you eat junk food, what's going to happen is basically your body will become junk, and then you feel lazy, you feel tired, you feel exhausted. So again, do not eat too much fatty foods. Number two is make sure you sleep early. Yeah, make sure you sleep early. So in other words, your sleeping patterns are very important. Sleeping before 12 o'clock is very, very beneficial for you. The earlier you sleep before 12, the more benefit that time has more benefit in there. This is what from my own experience and from many of my teachers and a lot of people who are experts in the field of sleep and all that. I've read articles on them that they've said the earlier you sleep is better. So early sleep before 12 o'clock. One of my teachers used to say, sleep. What was it? Yeah, 3 hours after Maghrib and wake up 3 hours before sunrise. If you do that regularly, you'll be very healthy. Now I don't know how true that is. I haven't tested it out, but I mean, for me, obviously, that kind of timing is a bit difficult because I come back late from work, and then by the time I come back, I can't straight away go to sleep. I have to do reading and I have to wind down. But yeah, try that. Go to sleep before 12. And another thing that helps in nature is regular exercise. Definitely, regular light exercise. It helps you with energy levels because your blood circulates. When your blood circulates, then your body's working at better functioning. Man Father, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan. Long time, my brother. If a woman is getting older but not married, is she allowed to freeze her eggs for when she does get married? She can use them. Possibly. Depends on the situation, but yeah, there's possibility there. Jum'ah Mubarakah, my brother Mu'adh. If you start jogging, running, make sure you take time to stretch. The last thing you want to do is, yeah, I know, I do some like little light stretching. But I mean, good thing about jogging is this, is that you won't hurt yourself as much as if you do weights, because you're just like walking and jogging. So that warms your body up anyway. Yeah. So yeah, good idea. So on India current Masjid Mandir controversy, I have no idea what you're talking about, my brother. Qazi asks you, generally in the Quran, Quran is being recited cover to cover for the deceased person, and then after everyone eats food. Now, if obviously people believe this is part of Islam to do it this way, then it's innovation, bid'ah. But if someone does it one-off, then it's permissible. It wouldn't be sinful. Assalamu alaikum, loyal follow, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. How do you use the Arabic to English sheet if I can't type in Arabic? Or how do you search for the words? So there's two PDFs, isn't there? Yeah, there's two PDFs. So one is in like English A to Z, and the other one is in Arabic Alif to Ya. So you kind of just go through it alphabetically. That's how you do it. Or what else you could do is you can actually like just use a website. Just use a website, and you can use a dictionary on a website. That's what you can use. So if you email me, I'll give you a contact to a website where you just type in the word, and then you can do that. How would you advise someone who is interested in going to a madrasa? How would you address them if they were going to a specific? How would you advise? I don't know how to advise. I mean, what's their question? Do they have specific questions? Do they have specific? Are you just saying like what kind of things would help them there? Is that what you mean? Advise or to encourage them? No, it's what time is Isha Salat in the UK? Heard many scholars say that Isha time doesn't enter. Yeah. So at this time now, this time of the year, the Isha time doesn't enter. There's a lot of ikhtilaf in this. So a lot of people pray like 1 hour after Maghrib. So I pray 1 hour after Maghrib. Some people pray 1 hour 15 minutes. Some people pray like straight after Maghrib. So there's different people have different positions on this. आमीना वालेकुम अस्सलाम warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. आपने हिकमत का कोर्स भी किया है? नहीं, मैंने नहीं किया हिकमत का कोर्स. Is it permissible to learn martial arts for self-discipline and self-defense? Yes, you can. By the way, I'm also Hyderabadi. Ahlan wa sahlan. So far, all right. Masir Ali, Hyderabadi. Huh? You find another Hyderabadi and you leave us. Okay, my brother. We'll remember this one. So far, it's pretty good. The syllabus is robust. Alhamdulillah. Much different looms. What bab does the word iman come from? It comes from amina ya'manu. Amina ya'manu. Yes, amina ya'manu. And the bab is amana yuminu. Imanan. Bab if'al. Salam alaikum, Sufyan. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. Long time no see, man. Long time. I need to come to Derby, bro. I need to come to Derby. We have Mishkat Jalalain Kuduri. How should they decide what madrasa to go to? Oh, what decide what madrasa? I personally think they should go to a madrasa that first of all they are gonna physically be comfortable there. If they go to a madrasa which they're not physically comfortable in, then it's pointless studying because you're just gonna waste your time. So ideally, if it's someone who's not used to going abroad, then don't go abroad. Try to find something local. Try to do a few years there, and then once you get into the habit of studying, understanding how things work, then after that you can travel abroad. This is I think biggest problem people have. They think they have to travel abroad to study. They don't have to. Yes, certain levels, certain years, certain subjects, you need to find experts to study from. But the early years you can study anywhere really. I would say local is usually the best thing in the beginning. 1 or 2 years you do locally. In regards to reading Isha, I heard Mufti Saab say that reading Isha at 11 p.m. during B nights is permissible. That's right. I don't know what B nights is. Is permissible. This all right. So yeah, nowadays praying Isha 11 o'clock. Yeah, if you want to pray 11 o'clock, that's fine. Yeah, that's permissible. Yeah. Obviously, the further you're going to pray, the safer it's going to be because it's all to do with the twilight. The disappearance of the twilight. That's what it's all about. Yeah, disappearance of the twilight. So basically what happens, Mu'adh, is from the about 13th or 14th of May, the twilight, the whiteness on the horizon, it doesn't disappear. It slowly disappears later and later and later and later. Eventually, it hardly disappears. It does disappear, but it disappears about, depending on where you are in the UK. If you're, usually it's from Birmingham upwards. If you're, the higher you are, then the longer the whiteness is going to stay on the horizon. That's what the argument is. Sorry, I know you are Pakistani, but you know Hyderabad Zindabad. Yeah, my bro. Yeah, I understand your loyalty now, bro. All makes sense now, bro. All makes sense. All makes sense. My parents are from there. I don't live. So, any recommendation of shuyukh and places in Turkey, specifically Istanbul, to traditional scholars? I have not studied with anyone in Turkey, so I can't really comment. But from the ones that I have heard a lot about is Sheikh Salih al-Murabbi. So Sheikh Salih al-Murabbi and some other scholars, they have a summer camp over there. I think it's for about a month. You go there, you study by them. I think if you try that, then you get an idea of what kind of places you can study at. Right? It'll give you like an insight into studying places. So Sheikh Salih al-Murabbi And then I got a few friends over there as well. But I'm not too sure about the institutes out there. But apparently there are a lot of institutes. So start off with something like that. Yeah, so find out. I'm sure if you Google it, check Sheikh Yasser Hanafi on social media. He's got some posts on there recently put up, and contact him, and he'll be able to give you like some good advice about where to study. Zahir Khan, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan. Kamran, wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brother, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. Lots of students in their Josh and want to mujahada jump aboard, go into literal jungles, burnout hits them hard and they fall off. Yeah, unfortunately it happens. Like sometimes you'll hear people who really want to go to Mauritania, or they want to go to like Sudan, or they want to go to really harsh places to study, but their bodies can't take it, their minds can't take it. They're not used to that kind of environment, which is not something for everyone. You could attain knowledge, and you could actually study in your own local city if you've got the right scholars to teach you. That's the thing. So it's not about having to travel. If you can get your knowledge locally, then that is the best thing to do. Loyal follower, Mufti sir, what does it mean in the Quran when Allah says everything will perish except His? So this word is, so in English is face, but in Arabic it doesn't mean face. Wajh, it means His being, the being of Allah. So Allah's being, Allah is the only entity that will remain, the being that will remain, and everything else will perish. So كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. And the Mufassirin say the wajh here refers to ذات ربه. Wow, yes. Ahlan wa sahlan, you're welcome. Barakallah feek. What should one do if they forget what rakat they are in Salat? So if you're praying Salat and you forgot which rakat you're in, you basically work out roughly the rakat that you know you've done, and then you pray, and then at the end you do sajda sahu. Yeah, so let's say you think you've done, you're not sure if you've done for 2 rakats or 3 rakats. So you definitely done 2, and then after that, pray 3, pray 4, and at the end do sajda sahu. How is Darul Bari? I'm not sure. I haven't been to Darul Bari. Yeah, I'm not too sure about it. Sajda sahu, yes, sajda sahu. Is Darul Leicester more inclined to Sufism? I have no idea. You'll have to ask someone who is studied there or teaches there. Mufti Sahab, from what I've understood, you explained that according to Imam Abu Hanifa, a woman can marry without a wali, but Sahibain disagree, so it's something disliked. No, it's permissible. So basically, in one opinion, Abu Yusuf is with Imam Abu Hanifa, and Imam Muhammad, his position is that the marriage will be considered to be pending the permission of the wali. So it's like frozen. So in these kind of situations, the thing is, basically, the idea is that women should not be ripped off. Yeah, what I mean by that is, unfortunately, a lot of women, they get cheated on. Like they're told by men meet them and they tell them so many promises that I'm going to do this, we're going to get married, we're going to have this and that, and the guy basically is just leading her on. And then unfortunately she gets married. She thinks this is the guy. She gets married. She finds out this guy's conning, is a con, and it just messes up. And this happens quite a lot. Like this is like a well-known thing, unfortunately, that happens. That people will do this for marriage just for lustful purposes. That's the idea, to protect her. It's her protection. And the wali is the guy that actually knows men, like a man knows a man. So when the wali finds out why this guy, meets him and realizes what he really is really up to, he quickly will inform the woman. Otherwise, a woman can just like fall in love with a guy and she just becomes blind to all of his faults. That's the idea. Halima, ahla wa sallam, alaikum assalam. How can a menstruating woman perform istikhara? So just read the dua. So a menstruating woman just has to read the dua. That's it. Yeah, it'll be sufficient for her. Advice for getting rid of envy towards other people who are my age, who have more Islamic knowledge and are respected by everyone. 2 things. Send them gifts. Seriously, it works. And make dua for them. Yeah, send them gifts, make dua for them, and that will create inside of yourself this kind of love for them. Yeah, and everyone has envy. Envy is something inside of everyone at different levels. But the thing is to try and overcome that envy. That's the hardest thing, guys. Is nowadays Sufism in the correct path? You tell me what happens in Sufism, then I can answer you. Because Sufism is a big discussion. It's a big term. And so, it's... So So it's a big discussion. So you can tell me, if you tell me what exactly you mean by Sufism specifically, I can tell you. Yeah. So this is basically um, what I've been doing. I've been exercising, as I told you guys. Yeah, started exercising, started jogging after Isha around my area on the streets, and mashallah, I feel very good, feel very energetic. I was thinking of jogging in the mornings, but the thing is, I think in the mornings, if you do in the mornings, you get tired, and you don't want the whole day to be affected by this. So that's why I did it in the day. And besides that, this week, mashallah, the videos are back up again. So Monday we did a learn how to read the Quran video. Tuesday we did from the 40 hadith. It was a good hadith as well, a nice hadith about the importance of studying knowledge. That everyone has to study knowledge as well. So when I make these videos, I'm trying to think how can I explain it best to people. So that's a good one. And Wednesday, I think we did our last lesson on the poetry of Imam Shafi. That's probably going to be the last one. Next week, inshallah, we're going to be starting the poetry of Ali radiallahu anhu, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu. Yeah, so Ali radiallahu poetry is going to start next Wednesday, hopefully, inshallah. If I don't find a poem of Imam Shafi that I've missed out, if I have, then I'll obviously do that. And then Thursday we do Mukhtasar al-Quduri. So we've actually like almost finished Hajj. I think maybe about 5 more lessons and Hajj is finished. I think five, maybe 6. Yeah. And then we're going to start Buyu. I've actually done my whole Quduri where I teach full time. I've done the whole recording of that. That's available on uruk.com. And what else? And yeah. And then today or maybe tomorrow I'll put up the Arabic, advanced Arabic one, Malfuluti. And we have this and the Quranic Arabic series. Yeah, the Quran series. That's what that too. Right. Gee, but the nikah will still be valid. Yes. Just asking because there were some very famous cases in Pakistan where 2 girls married their parents' permission and they want the nikah to be nullified. Yeah. So the marriage goes through, but basically the families have the right to go court and get the marriage nullified. They have that right. Yeah, if they find that the suitor is not the right person. Which sharh of Riyadh al-Salihin would you recommend for a beginner? Nuzhatul Muttaqeen. I haven't read a lot of sharhs on Riyadh al-Salihin, but the one that I benefit a lot from is Dalil al-Falihin. Dalil al-Falihin is easy to read and it's very easy to follow. Yeah, so Dalil al-Falihin, that's a good one. And then I think there's like some of them have a good footnotes on there. If you get one with good footnotes, I haven't seen Sabuni's. There's one actually a 22 volume one. Kunuz, it's called Kunuz something, Kunuz. And it's 22 volumes. I don't know what they've written in there. I read a bit of it. Yeah. The thing is, look, Samu, why do you want to read a commentary for? I think people get into this mindset they have to read commentaries for everything. You don't have to read a commentary for everything. Yeah, sometimes some commentaries are just pointless. They don't give you any extra benefit. I personally say, I've actually written a post on this in the past, that when you read a commentary, what you want to do in that commentary is meant to help you to be able to further elaborate, understand what the text is saying. Yeah, that's what you want with a commentary. And just studying a commentary for the sake of commentary is something sometimes a waste of time. Sometimes it burns you out, I would say, because the commentary is so big, and then you think to yourself, "I'll forget reading this." What made you go Binuri town instead of local? Basically, because I've got relatives in Karachi. My granddad, may Allah have mercy on his soul, he said to me, "Go there." He said to me, "There's a madrasa there, or there's a few madrasas there. Go and check them out. They'll be better for you. They're more sort of like well established, and they've got foreigners there, and you'll be away from all of this nice weather as well." So I decided to go there. Alhamdulillah, I haven't regretted it at all. Yeah, I've not regretted it at all. Yeah. So what's up? What made you go Binuri town? SS. Ahlan wa sahlan. Hurayra. Assalamu alaikum. As a revert, I plan to speak only Arabic to my 4-month-old. Do you suggest or tips to make it possible, inshallah? First of all, do you know Arabic? If you know Arabic, then it's excellent. So what you can do basically is you can speak to your child in Arabic, and you can read stories to them as well. So you read stories, and then slowly children can pick up things very fast. And what you find is that the child will. I've got a friend actually. He does this. He only speaks with his child in Arabic, and his wife speaks English with the children. So whenever the children speak to him, they always feel they have to respond in Arabic, right? And it's actually they're about 4 or 5 years old now, and apparently they can speak quite good Arabic, and they can understand a lot of stories as well. So like if you read stories to them in Arabic, they'll understand it. So try that. Don't put too much pressure on them. That's the thing. How can I get a mufti who is a Sufi to accompany me to my first Hajj next year? I have no idea, Lukman. I have no idea. Maybe I don't know. Maybe look for some organizations that have muftis that are Sufis traveling with them. Do you write any stories in Arabic? So I do write short stories in Arabic for my students' homeworks. So I write short stories and they have to translate it into English. Yeah, I do those. But I was actually working on a long novel, Muslim on Mars, as many of you guys are familiar with. Yeah, so the Muslim on Mars, this was called. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. Are there any proper Islamic institutes that study the sciences the way the medieval scholars like Al-Khwarizmi used to, i.e., in a non-secular manner? Are there any proper Islamic institutes that study sciences? Most likely in Muslim countries, probably. It all depends what you mean by secular. That's the thing. So a lot of these scholars in the past, when they would study something, they wouldn't like study something and say the Quran says this or that. They would actually study it separately from. So that's something to understand. When we hear historically, sometimes we romanticize history and we think everyone was like in this magical sort of like lifestyle. It wasn't. People used to criticize Khwarizmi people. A lot of people called him a heretic. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of Muslim scholars were called heretics because they were coming out with ideas that seemed to go against. Yeah. So what I would suggest is if anyone does want to study like sciences in this country or anything, but always remember that the science is limited to simply just observation. That's all it is. It does not tell you about. It does not tell you about God. It does not tell you who God is. It just tells you. Like, it can tell you the signs of Allah. That's what basically is. Assalamu alaikum, Aslam Khan. Welcome, my brother Aslam Khan. Ahlan wa sahlan. I want to learn Hanafi fiqh. Should I start with Bidayat al-Mubtadi Quduri? So if you haven't studied Hanafi fiqh before, I would suggest starting with something like Fiqh al-Muyassar. Yeah, Fiqh al-Muyassar is a very good place to start. Very easy Arabic and it's quite comprehensive. And then what you do is go on to something like Quduri. Yeah, Quduri after that. Yeah, definitely. محمد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا محمد أستاذ، جزاك الله خير لإجابة سؤالي على جيميل وإياكم يا أخي الحبيب إن شاء الله. Could you do a video on explain the types of minor shirk and major shirk? I think a lot of people will benefit from it. Inshallah, good idea. Yeah, definitely inshallah. أكاد أكمل الكتاب هداية النحو يا أستاذ. ما شاء الله ما شاء الله، سريع سريع. بارك الله فيه. How do you get rid of spiritual Malay? Example, you fall back on daily routines and can't get going. So the main thing, Sister in Shara, is that to keep good company. I would say there's two things that make you. One is have someone else monitor your sort of like weekly or monthly spiritual sort of like activities, salat, and these kind of things. That's one way of doing it. The other way is stay in the company of good people. Regular staying in the company of good people, it gives you a boost. Like Imam Malik rahimahullah, he used to say, whenever I used to feel down, like spiritually down, I would go to the gatherings of Muhammad ibn Munkadir, and just sitting in his gathering would like energize me for an entire week. Entire week, I used to feel the benefit of that one gathering. Yeah, so singing gathering of good people. And ideally, trying to sit in physical gatherings rather than online ones. Physical gatherings are always better. I mean, anything you plan on teaching in the summer? And this summer, I might be going to Pakistan. I'm just sorting out the logistics of it at the moment. Hopefully, inshallah, if I go Pakistan, then inshallah, I'll do some vlogs from there. So the summer I'll just be there, inshallah. But ahlan wa sahlan wa alaikum assalam. What do you think of statement that Allah is above his throne and is everywhere in his hearing, knowledge, and seeing? The Quran says istawa al arsh. Yeah. So if you mean that, then obviously I believe in istawa al arsh. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his hearing and qudra is everywhere. As Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah believe that. If you wrote that novel, would you include the ahkam of Mars as well? Possibly, yeah, and possibly would. Which kitab did you use for the types of letters in Arabic series? So I used several books. Most of them were by Dr. Fadl Samurai. So النحو العربي, معاني النحو. I used also شرمية عامل, and yeah, and also I think I used some other, I can't remember now off the top of my head, a few other Nahu books. Yeah, for those. But a lot of them were from Dr. Fadl Samurai. He's covered them in a lot of detail. Samuel, thanks. I actually want to understand the hadith better and get an understanding of the benefits of it. Just want to confirm you said the Arabic is easy to read. Dalil al-Falihin, yeah. Dalil al-Falihin Arabic is easy to read. Yeah, it's easy. Right, guys. Ahlan wa sahlan. So yeah, so that's basically been my week. And besides that, hasn't been anything else. I went cycling this Sunday, so I did about 30 miles. I don't know if you guys are into exercise or anything. Oh, by the way, the Tarkeeb videos, inshallah, I should put some Tarkeeb videos up. I haven't put those up for a while as well. And I'm actually thinking of maybe going through Maulana Hashim's Nahu series. Maybe I'll just do like a video like this. Yes. I want to try to get a board. I'm thinking if I get a board over here, yeah, then I can just like write on the board over here. Yeah, that would be good, because sometimes people like seeing the teacher and the board. That's that kind of style, that method. Yeah, that kind of method. I think it's really useful. Right. So, anything else, guys? Anything interesting that's happened? Okay, 1 second. I'll be back. Okay, yeah. So, Mullah Hashim, the new surf book is out too, yeah. So I've got that as well. So I've got his Nahu book. MashaAllah, he sent me the surf book and the Nahu book last week. Yes, the surf book and Arabic grammar. So I'm thinking I want to try to cover as much text so that I can explain. The only problem is, making exercises. That's another issue. I think a lot of people, when they study Arabic grammar, they don't know why they're studying it. I personally think. Yeah, I think what tends to happen is they just think they need to study it. They don't realize the point of Arabic grammar is to be able to get you to read Arabic. That's it. As long as you can read and understand Arabic, then the grammar, you don't need it anymore. Yeah. So this is why it's like, you're riding a bike with the four wheels, right? The kind of support wheels. So you only need those once you can, once you can ride, then it's fine. You don't need it anymore. So that's basically, I think that's the kind of main thing. I think a lot of people just spend too much time on Nahu. That's it, guys. May I ask a quick question? Yes, you can ask, inshallah. Maryam Misbah, alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Ustad, how to we make sifat nisbati, like example al-ansari, how does it end with ya tashdid? So give me an example and I'll tell you. Yeah. Sorry to ask this question, but why did you want to help the person looking for a Sufi to take him to Hajj? Sufism isn't correct. Well, Huraira, I disagree with you. You disagree with me on that issue. It depends what you mean by Sufi. It depends what you mean by it. So that's your opinion, but others will disagree on you on that one. Ay wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, one second. Someone's at the door. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, Hamdan Patel Sufi Sahab. I think what tends to happen is a lot of people, they just hear the term Sufi and they automatically think that it's a negative thing, whereas you'd be shocked. Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, knowing who he is, praises Sufi a lot. Yeah, so it all depends upon what meaning, what application Sufi has. Like, what do you mean by Sufi? Do you mean someone who wants to get close to Allah? That's a Sufi as well. Mufti Sahab, can we visit cathedrals, chapels to admire the architecture? Yes, you can visit them. Yeah, just to kind of learn the architecture, but obviously not to revere them and honor them. So not to revere them, honor them, that's not permissible. Can you pass in front of a praying person if you go diagonally? So basically, the scholars say between them and between where they do sajda, you can't pass through. It's prohibited. But after where they do sajda, there's an ikhtilaf of how much. So Imam Shafi says you can pass after the sajda, and other scholars, Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, says you can pass as long as you skip out one or two safs. You go around there. That would be permissible. Yeah, that's it, guys. So I think I'm gonna call it a day, inshallah. Here, by the way, yeah, I've got, inshallah, I was making a video, yeah, on the Tarkib one. So this is one of the Tarkib ones that I was working on. Yeah, so inshallah, I'll put that one up as well. And hopefully, I'm gonna try to have a whole database of i'rab and Tarkib videos for sentences, making them from easy to very advanced. So the only problem in my head is, how do I determine what's easy, what's medium advancement? To me, they're all the same. As in, to me, because I'm so familiar with these. So I'm just trying to kind of figure out how I'm going to do it progressively. And then hopefully, inshallah, I'll do the Arabic as well. I'm just thinking how I'm going to do it, but inshallah. And the Marfluti one, definitely that's going to be coming out, inshallah. I'm going to put it up soon. And tonight, there's not going to be Arabic podcast tonight, inshallah. There won't be. Hopefully, inshallah, I know I said this last week, but hopefully next week, inshallah, it's going to start. Definitely next week, we're going to start that, inshallah. Right. So anything else before I go, guys? Anything else interesting? All right, by the way, tomorrow's going to be live Q&A, so make sure for the live Q&A, you guys tune in. Inshallah, it's going to be in the evening at 9:30 UK time. And I don't know, and that's it, I think. Yeah. The weather's been good. Did you guys see those pictures of the plants I put up? So the seeds that I've actually planted have actually grown very well. Yeah, they've grown quite well. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Al-Ansariyu, is it sifa in nisba, and how is it ending with tashdid? Yeah. So it's basically called ism mansub with the sin, nisba, sifa nisba. Yeah. So Ansar, so like the Sahaba were called the Ansar. So like for example, Talha radiallahu anhu, Talha al-Ansari, al-Ansariyu. So it's Ansar, and then you put the ya at the end, just like Bukhariyu, yeah, Bukhariyu, or anything else of that sort, right? Because whenever you have a word and you want to make it attributed to something, you have to put a ya at the end, but you differ on exactly how you put the ya. So, for example, like Quraysh, Qurashiyu, from Medina, Madaniyu, yeah, Makkah, Makkiyu, yeah, and some are a bit different. Maru, yeah, Maru is what was the Maru? Marawi, yeah, Marawiyu, Maru, Marawiyu. So you put a wow there as well. Yeah. All right, guys. So I think that's it. What can be done when a father does not pay maintenance for his children but has two wives he maintains? So what she needs to do, she needs to contact the fiqh council, and if she wants a divorce, then she needs to get that sorted, because the husband must provide for the family, right? The husband has to provide for the children, has to provide. Now, sometimes what happens is there's two sides to every story. So the fiqh council will listen to both sides, and then we'll be able to tell the man that if he's not going to provide for her, that a talaq can be issued, khula can be issued. Yeah, and this is unfortunately sad when a man wants to marry more than one wife, but he just wants to do it for his own, pleasure. He doesn't really kind of want to do it for the betterment of the family. So yeah, so I think definitely she should contact the fiqh council, contact like a reputable institute and organization that deals with these things. In Birmingham, there's a few, in London as well, and it's something which is his duty basically, has to do that. Provide for children till they are baligh. Yes, that's his job. He must provide for them until they are baligh, especially the girl until she's married off, and for the boy until he's baligh. Yeah, providing for them. So this is something important as well. Right. So my tea is finishing as well. And hopefully, inshallah, this week I'll do more exercise and I'll tell you how it's going, how I'm losing weight as well. Yeah. The only problem is when you kind of lose weight, right? So once you get into the habit of losing weight, it's easy to lose weight, but the problem is maintaining that. So sometimes you might, like at the moment, alhamdulillah, my routine's not that bad. But sometimes you'll have dinners to go to, you have talks to give, you have to go, this place, that place, and that can mess up your whole diet. So I don't know. I mean, what is the humble way to say no when you are busy? I mean, it depends who you're saying it to. If there's someone who understands you, just say to them no. That's how I will do it. If someone who understands me, I just say sorry, I can't do it. And if it's someone who is like, maybe I feel embarrassed to say to them, I would probably kind of say like, apologize, but is it possible that we can postpone it to another day or something? Yeah. So the thing is, everyone knows the people that they're talking to, and they have to know how to address them. Like, one person doesn't have the answer for all of these things. That's the idea. Assalamu alaikum, Haider. When I was younger, my friends told me that the Prophet ﷺ did not have a clock. So when it was iftar, a few minutes we ate. Do I make this fast up? Yeah, so if you ate before the time, absolutely before the time, you know that this was before the time, then you make that fast up. Yeah. So the Prophet ﷺ did not have a clock, but he had a mu'adhin, and that mu'adhin would know the exact times. Yeah, it wasn't like they were just like estimating. They would actually see the sun going below the horizon. The sun goes down below the horizon. Yeah, so it's not like they didn't have a clock and they didn't know these things. These people were experts in monitoring the movements of the sun and the moon. Mufti Sahab, is studying mantiq permissible? Yes, studying mantiq is just like studying mathematics is permissible. You can study mathematics, you can study physics, but you have to understand their status. Mathematics and physics and all of these things are simply just a science that will help you to understand something else, right? They are not the ultimate thing. So like we don't like worship science. We don't believe science is God, like some people would believe. We believe that science is like a bridge, and mantiq falls under these kind of rational sciences that gets you to your destination. So mantiq is basically just giving structure to thought. That's all it's about. That's what mantiq is. You basically, like, everyone thinks, but you've never thought how you think. Mantiq explains to you how you think, right? It tells you that the process that you're taking in to find out something that's unknown. Like if I say to you, is the earth eternal, or is it something that's gonna be destroyed or perish sometime? How do we know logically? So logically, we come out with steps. So we say, for example, everything in the universe changes, and everything in the earth changes, and everything that changes always has a beginning and always has an end. So therefore, the earth has a beginning and it has an end. So you use the kind of like rational. These days, Nahi Munkar has become very difficult. How can I do this with my bus driver plays music? Yeah, just put earphones in your ear. Yeah, just put earphones in your ear, brother. No more questions now. Mufti Sahib needs a rest. Yes, MSP touch. You know, man, you know. Haider, my recent Shawwal fast, I thought it was Maghrib, but I was mistaken by a minute. I'm not sure. So what I would suggest is, in your area, if there's a calendar that considered that Maghrib time to have fallen in, then you can consider your fast valid. But if you can't find that, then I would suggest repeating that fast again. What is the difference between Nur al-Idah and Quduri? Nur al-Idah is like a more later text. It's not considered to be an authority in the Hanafi school. But Quduri is an authority, came very early. It's a representation of what we call Zahir Riwayah in the school. So that's why a lot of scholars have done a lot of work on it. Whereas Nur al-Idah is just like an attempt by a Hanafi that came later on, Shurumbul Ali, to try and like write down a Hanafi text. And then he wrote a commentary on there as well. So reading Nur al-Idah is good, but you should always read the classical texts. Classical texts are very important. Right, guys. So I think I'm going to call it a day, guys. So Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much for watching the live stream. And as usual, guys, I enjoy your guys. I like it when you guys comment, and I like it when you guys tell me what's happening or where you guys are and how you're enjoying the week. So this week, inshallah, this weekend, I'm going to try to do some more gardening. And hopefully tell you guys the latest with the strawberries. Strawberries are growing, mashallah. And those plants, so if you remember those plants that I told you guys, the tea plants, that seeds that people gave me, mashallah. So I've planted those. Those are growing. So hopefully we'll see how they later on progress, and inshallah let you guys know what it tastes like to drink handmade tea, like literally handmade, hand-grown tea. Is it haram to say a dua in the bathroom? If the bathroom is clean and there's no impurity in there, then it's okay. But if the bathroom has najasa, filth, urine in there, then no. Yeah. What is your recommended tafsir curriculum? This is a good topic. I like talking about this in a lot of detail. I don't have time now. I'll give you in a nutshell what I think. So, if you want to learn tafsir properly, there's tafsir, yeah. First of all, you need to know Arabic language very good, I would say. Yeah, so first of all, you need to be able to read the Arabic and understand what each word is saying. Yeah, that's the first thing. Then after that, once you've learned this, so ideally you study just the translation with the scholar. So the scholar will just translate for you, explain to you what each word means and how you put it together. Then what you do is you start studying. First of all, study like an easy short text, like Tafsir Ibn Juzay, which doesn't cover every ayah, but covers a lot. Tafsir Ibn Juzay is very good. Or maybe even something like Mukhtasar Ibn Kathir. Mukhtasar Ibn Kathir is very good as well. Safwa Tafasir is also a good tafsir to start off with. These are like basic tafsirs you can start off with read. Once you've read those, then I would suggest reading something that is a bit more advanced, right? Something like Tafsir Abu Sa'ud. Yeah, Tafsir Abu Sa'ud. And if you can read Kashaf, Kashaf is very good. But for that, you need Balagha. You need to have studied Balagha before. Um, yeah, so I think that is also something which is important to study as well. And then after that, studying something like um, Ruh al-Ma'ani, Tafsir Ruh al-Ma'ani is very good after that. Yeah. Tafsir al-Baydawi and Sharh of Qawnawi and Baydawi is also very good as well. So these are like, I would suggest, these are the tafsirs you should go through. But then besides that, there's lots of other tafsirs that you can read on the side, supplementing those as well. Do you think Dars in Nizami system needs to be adjusted for modern times? See, this question is a difficult question because when you say Dars in Nizami, everyone thinks what they have in their madrasa is Dars in Nizami. But Dars in Nizami in the Mughals Empire was different. Yeah, Dars in Nizami in the Mughal Empire was actually different. So Dars in Nizami in the Mughal Empire was actually a solid syllabus like GCSE and A levels. That's what it was like. Yeah, so like GCSE and A levels, and basically, uh, every madrasa now is trying to implement their own, and they call it Dars in Nizami. So this is why I think it's a difficult question to answer because you need to know the different madrasas, what have they implemented under the banner of Dars in Nizami. Generally, if you're asking me the question, what needs to be adjusted, I think the most important thing that needs to be done is the pedagogy, the way that things are taught. That's, I think, the most important thing teachers need to focus on is the way things are taught, the skills that students are being given. That's the biggest problem that people have. They don't really like for example, let's say you're teaching fiqh, and if you're teaching fiqh, just translating what the text says and explaining the masala, that's might work for like the beginner book, but then later on it's not going to work. You need to be able to like talk to the students, interact with them, come out with like like hypothetical scenarios. So for example, let's say I teach buyu to students. I have to say to them, right, let's say you go into a cafe. What are all the types of buyu transaction that take place here? What are all the rules that you can see? So the student has to try and understand buyu to such a level that they are basically going to be able to see the fiqh around them, and they can interact as well. They can ask questions. Things are on their mind. Yeah, this is unfortunately something which we don't get in a lot of madrasas. So students, they don't really have like a fiqh mind. They just have like, unfortunately, it's not a nice word, but it's very parrot fashion. Yeah, it's just like parrot fashion, and it's a monologue. The teacher just speaks, and you get the odd student who'll ask a question, and that's it. And I personally don't like the lessons like that. I like the lessons interacting, students talking, students asking each other questions, me asking the students, and that way it kind of like creates inside the student's mind that they feel comfortable in asking anything they want, and they know there's a structure of how to answer it. So that's in like fiqh, and then like in hadith, there's also, I think, an important way that hadith needs to be taught as well. Maybe inshallah I can in the future just do like a video, just explaining how I believe uh, fiqh should be taught, hadith should be taught, tafsir should be taught, aqidah should be taught, like my own experience. And I think that would be very sort of like useful for a lot of people, because a lot of people, That's the main question that they have on their mind. How do I do this? Yeah. He has divorced the mother of the children but has 2 other wives. He has not paid her remaining mahar either. Yeah, so you need to get in contact with the fiqh council, because unfortunately, if you're living in a non-Muslim country, the government's not going to do anything. Yeah, they're not going to do anything because it's not under their law. So that he has to pay that basically. Assalamu alaikum. If someone is in ihram for umrah and enters the haram for salat, can he or she leave the haram without doing the umrah? The haram, as in you're talking about the masjid haram, yeah? Haram. I assume you mean the masjid haram. Yes. I mean, if one is so tired that they want to go back to the hotel, yes, they can just go back to the hotel. Yeah. I did a voluntary fast with the niyyah that it makes up any fard fast that I may have missed up, like the one mentioned above. Will this absorb? Inshallah, this will absorb. Okay. Allah is not above the if literally above the throne, then you have limited God. That's true. Definitely. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Jazakumullah khair, guys. Yeah. I will see you guys next time, inshallah. And have a nice weekend. And inshallah, tomorrow, hopefully, have live Q&A, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.